When was the last time you watched a movie? Cinema nowadays seems to be a luxury that not many can afford. However, in the 1950s, 60% of Americans went to the cinema. Nowadays, that number is much lower. This happens due to a number of reasons, such as the price of tickets increasing or people's interest just not existing anymore. Nowadays, short format content is at its peak, and a lot of people just consume that sort of media. However, this has a nefarious effect on our mental health and attention span overall. We are witnessing an attention span shift. People cannot focus for more than 15 seconds. People watch TikToks with that specific time frame and just gain information from that. And it's not really that helpful because people can't read anymore. They can't consume longer form content, and they just want to absorb all the information within the first 15 seconds of something. This has not been affecting us quite in a positive way because people do not go to the movies anymore. However, let's compare it to the movies such as The Exorcist, where the cinemas were full and people were eager to talk to one another and share their experience and to consume the movie and watch the story unfold frame by frame and to get along with the director's view and to experience the characters by themselves actually. Words such as viridescent anymore, and it's quite sad really because it's such a beautiful word. Or we have things like pristine, which is also a beautiful word that just doesn't get used anymore. People just say that it's a pompous word and it's not worth using, but that's not the case. Cinema in a way has this role of making us more aware of what's happening around us. It tells a story and it mirrors society because our priorities have changed drastically. We are always on the run. We cannot stop and analyze where we are for a moment, and it's quite sad, really. However, things are not that bleak. Cinema is not dying, it's evolving. We are witnessing small creators that experiment with vertical shots and with all sorts of transitions and placing the action in the first part of the movie. And short movies are emerging once again as a popular way of consuming media. So cinema is just rebranding itself. But what's important is that we support these small creators and that we consume media that's a bit longer than 15 seconds, if you get what I mean, and to continuously fight for this sort of rebellion, because watching longer content is quite underrated nowadays. So this rebellion is against the attention span that's ever diminishing since the start of the pandemic, for example, because a lot of people were spending more time online and their screen time increased, and it's been like an average of minimum 5 hours per day, which is quite sad because people lose contact with one another. However, we have movies such as The Substance, which touches on topics such as social media influencing our beauty standards. And it's a quite beautiful movie to watch, and I encourage that you watch it because it hits just the right spots of this theme of beauty. What is beautiful for me is not beautiful for you, and so on. And to watch the characters evolve. People seem to forget nowadays that movies are not just a form of entertainment, they are a beacon of hope. They provide society with community. People gather to share their opinions and to have their own critical thinking of the movie. They need to analyze it by themselves, not just regurgitate reviews from online and to have the other's opinion. People need to consume content such as movies more because we are witnessing people lose their attention span. They cannot be fully attentive in a lecture, or they cannot consume a book all throughout. They skip the description, and that description has a purpose. It's not useless. long descriptions have a purpose in making us more aware of our environment and to analyze gestures and people's tone of voice and things of the sort. And another thing that's interesting is that we are losing words that are in connectivity to nature. People do not use words such as